And here we go again, folks. This is a trip video, but I'm not exactly sure if I can call this a trip video because I mean, of course I can call it a trip video, but I was talking to one of my subscribers on YouTube, and I was talking to him and shit, and he said I'm off like 200 of DXM and 100 of like 100 of Benadryl. I like, let me try to outweigh the DXM versus the Benadryl. So I did 100 DXM, 150 I think, and 75 Ben, and very like not really that many similarities. Different, way different, you know. And you know, I don't know. My head feels busted open. My head feels busted open. Like I feel like um, I feel like you know, I feel good, but the DXM takes the heaviness of my body away. Like with just popping more Ben than DXM, what happens is that um, what happens is that it's a good feeling, but I'm less heavy. However, I feel like there's more of a trance with DXM, and that's not even a whole bunch. People have done more DXM than this. I'm not really a DXM guy, so I kind of use DXM to potentiate diphenhydramine. And so, basically, there's a trance with DXM. It's a trance thing with Benadryl. The heaviness is still there, but the DXM, because it overpowers it, it's a trance, and that's what makes it worse for me to move. It's not the heaviness or me feeling pinned down that I can't move. It's that if I notice the good feeling that's flowing through my vessel with all the photons, then what happens is that I get focused on the present, which is of CLAT. What happens is that you remember CLAT 2020. You know, that's a fucking stupid ass fucking show. But you know what? I do miss how that looked. It was like fucking. It was done in high contrast. I guess that's what you want to describe it like. And so it's just the trance feels so much good. I get caught in the trance, and what happens is that I get stuck from feeling too good. I don't like when I have it, 'cause I be having to get some shit done at night. You know, when I got days off, it's the weekend, I got more time to party and go harder on the pills and drugs. You know, if it's the weekend, lock myself in and do them, you know. Sometimes my mind gets very active and I want to do some shit and can't. I'm stuck in some type of trance. Cause I'm stuck in some type of trance. So, is it just me, or, you know, I noticed like with pictures and things that, I noticed that with pictures and things, like, okay, you take any type of object and photograph it or video record it at any angle, you know. And what happens is that whatever the object is looks different at angles. And I'm starting to notice, and this ain't rocket science, that as I angle the camera or the camcorder or whatever, whether photo or video, the angle changes how I look, but also the lighting changes how I look. So it changes how I look. Due to the angle. This is light. I'm not even sure why I'm doing this. I wasn't really even trying to talk about lighting. I was trying to talk about how at any angle when I shoot these videos or however this gesture may go, at any angle, I change the way I look. It looks like a different person's doing these videos at angles like this. This is one person, right? This is another person. This is another person. This is another person. Just fucking around. You know, I try to use the format with this DXM that I've been using with the bend, but you know what happens is that right now I can't really talk that good or talk that much. I keep noticing I want to say a whole lot of shit and I can't. But let me just try to express my Respiratory memoirs. Because speaking of memoirs, you know what I'm saying? Like crazy titles. Like basically, you know, memoirs of the generic meat wagon. Pocky. Now tell me, that's a real title. The fuck am I talking about? But gets the people going. Yeah. You know, it's amazing. I'm one of them people that clairvoyant, and I'm becoming more and more aware and more awake. And a lot of us are waking up right now. I really couldn't tell you why. I'm not that deep into explaining a realm or a phase of spirituality and reality. So basically, there's something you should know. There's something in my heart. Something in my heart. Something in my heart. What? I swear on everything I love, I did not mean to say that or do that. So, basically, we're all waking up. I'm not the only one. Tons and millions probably of people are waking up onto a spiritual level. And, you know, the way that I understand, besides me, but attempting to be a Christian, doing some things correct and some things not. I like metaphysics. I love metaphysics, know a lot about it. But I am not one to brag about my spiritual powers or abilities. And some of my abilities are extreme. Sometimes they scare me. And I've said this in videos before, but I can tell you without a doubt in my mind, that I predicted 2 people's deaths, and one ended up happening about 17 years later after I predicted it. As a kid, I told a girl, don't make fun of Mexican people, treat them like human beings. Every Mexican isn't good, but every Mexican isn't bad. And she was very racist. In Arizona, she was very racist toward Mexicans. And so basically, she got murdered by a Mexican for calling some guy a name, I suppose. Nobody really knows the reason. So my cousin had a boyfriend named Michael, and at first we wasn't cool with each other, but we ended up being cool with each other when I had moved back to Arizona when I was 24. And we did wild shit. I won't really go into detail, but some of it consisted of fights, robberies, shoplifting, stuff, shit like that. And not robberies like liquor stores or banks or something stupid, just motherfuckers outside. But one night, this nigga Michael, man, he got me in some shit one night. And I said, bro, you're 35 years old. Why the fuck are you at the gas station? We're high as hell at the gas station. We had smoked so much fucking weed because I was popping pills when I got there. I converted that to fucking high grade weed and Blue Ribbon beer. And he fucking got out on these white boys for no reason, stole their money. Now we had to dash across the street like some crackheads, slipping and rolling all in the street. We ran all through the parking lot, ran through Red Lobster, hopped the fence and hid the back of the dumpster till the coast was clear and came back. Why the fuck did you do that? You had no reason to fuck with them white boys. And you know what? I told them outside, like, man, don't put me. I'm older now. I'm not no young motherfucker. This ain't fun to me no more. This is wild, but I get a rush, but this ain't really fun. You're too fucking old to be doing that. Lo and behold, I told him, you better slow down, man. Somebody gonna kill you or something bad's gonna happen. And because he's from Chicago Heights, which is not the city of Chicago, but a pretty rough suburb, he says to me, oh, you know me, you know where I'm from, blah, blah, blah. They too slow out here in Arizona to get me. I said, bro, somebody gonna shoot your ass. Lo and behold, 4 years later, he got shot in the back of the head with a shotgun. Ha ha ha. Ha ha. 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 Ha ha. I can't tell you, something's going on in the hallway. Focus on your video. So yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, so you know, I have abilities. I sense stuff all the time, man. All the time. You know. And you know, the other day I was talking to my friend's house. His grandpa has diabetes and not too good with his diabetes. So I'm over at my friend's house one day and we kicking in the living room. His grandpa's on the couch. And for some reason I had the urge to look at his grandpa, George, right? So I turn and I look, and when I looked at, he had diabetes. When I turn and look, I didn't really, because empaths can feel people's, you know, emotions and things of that nature, and things like it. I didn't really feel his blood sugar. I didn't feel the illness or like the hyperglycemia. I didn't feel the bad effects of it. But when I looked at him, somehow I just knew when I looked at him, he didn't look. Not only did he not look all the way right to me, but when I looked at him, I started to comprehend and discern something. And so I'm looking at the old man, and as I'm looking, something just clicked. Blood sugar. I said, George, when's the last time you took your blood sugar? He tells me a couple of days ago. I said, bro, you know, because I know nursing stuff and diabetes stuff. Go get your machine. I checked the man out, and his blood sugar is 504. I'm like, whoa, I got that. I helped him with his insulin. I got him as much water as I could get him to push fluids, to dilute the glucose in his bloodstream and everything. I'm like, whoa. But the shocking part is, I don't like to brag on my nature. The shocking part is that um, I looked at him and knew that. I don't want to brag on this. So, the next point I would like to make is that we're all psychic-ish. But I believe there's human beings here that have authority from heaven or special connections with God and stuff. That they don't, and they're not even may be sure. They may not even be sure or even aware that they are. And so, basically, um, I'm more than likely gonna put myself, at least one thing for sure, I'm definitely gonna put myself in the category of an empath, clairvoyant. Although I have other abilities, because I feel people's things, emotions, and intentions sometimes, and vibrations. And you know what? I noticed this a while ago. I'll be watching TV, even when I was a little boy sometimes. And sometimes somebody would be on TV angry, and all of a sudden they'd be angry and they'd be furious. And as I'm watching this, my hands start trembling. I feel nervous and then I feel angry, because that's what I'm feeling, their shit. Or sadness. Ooh, my goodness. I hate being around a person that's sad is okay, but a person that's extremely sad and not talking about it, please do not come around me. Please don't come around me. I'm gonna feel your shit. I don't like that. That's the second thing I don't like. The number one thing I don't like about my input, about able to have compassion and feel people's intentions and emotions or whatnot, energy or whatnot, I do not like negative crowds and violent crowds. That's an uneasy feeling, unless I'm mad also. And so I'm not one to really, I just had to say all that to say that, you know what I'm saying? Like, they say empaths are close to God, close to Jesus' make, but they have some type of more of a connection and more of a dealing with God. And I'm not one to toot my horn. I do have extra knowledge on Bible stuff, but a lot of people do also. I am nobody special. I'm just a man making a YouTube video. Just so happens that you're watching this. I am just a human being, just like you. I'm no better than anybody. But to myself, I'm better than everybody. So, oh man. And so basically, I can tell you this about God. He is not that vengeful, punishing and intimidating guy. There's a lot of false information, and the devil blinds people's minds with nonsense and disguises it as Christian knowledge or church or some type of Christian theism. I'm gonna tell you like this. I'm gonna describe the Almighty as quick as I can. I'm explaining this the best way I can, the quickest. Okay. Believe it or not, the Almighty or God, as a, call him or portray, he's gentle. Like the times I meditated, because I went through some real fucked up shit in 2017. Saw my roommate commit suicide, and I lost my sister on my dad's side. So I did a lot of meditation and a lot of fucking drug use, and ended up places to where I had nothing but time to meditate. Okay? And God's gentle. He's besieging. That's the word I saw somewhere, and he's always in the background talking, like almost like 24/7, suggesting. You have to learn to differentiate him from a demon trying to pretend to be him, fooling and deceiving you. That's the devil's goal in the demons. By the way, there's more than one devil. You got to understand this, that basically the demons do the same thing that the devil does. So since there's tons of them, there's tons of devils. They all have the same intention and goal. Be careful. And God, he's besieging. We're not a super big deal to him, but he cares about us. Like He calls us beloved. He really has a lot of care for us. But, you know, he don't like to be disrespected. And that's what you get from certain stories in the Bible, certain things. We don't know the full stories of all these things. But he's not like that. He wants to help. He doesn't even want to destroy anybody when Armageddon or things like that occur. He don't want to even do it. He loves us. But he will not be taken for a joke. Okay? Very much in the background. I don't know if this is secret knowledge or is it just me for right now, but I know I get the God of all, the King of all. I get a lot of suggestions from him when I wake up in the morning, and I really can't explain that all the way. Like, I can't really explain that. Like, sometimes I'll sleep when I do sleep and wake up and I have urges to do certain things or to call certain people, whatever. And I think it's a lot of time from him. I believe that he observes us even more when we're asleep. And that's just something I learned about God. This video is not turning out what I needed it to be, but who knows what's going to happen. I should just run this video until my SD card time runs out. So basically, this is what I hear in Chicago a lot, and you hear it on TV. You hear it all over the place. I hear this in Chicago a lot. And you'll have a person go to church or do something and go to church or attempt to get themselves together, and you know, they attempt to get themselves together and they'll say, oh, I was doing this or doing that, I was having trouble, or I was doing this, I was doing that. And they'll say, well, God, I heard God's voice and he was talking to me and he told me to do this, or he told me to do that, and you know, I feel blessed, I feel this, I'm so happy, blah, blah. I would like to correct you. I really would like to correct you. And I'm not 100%, but as far as my belief, I'm going to correct you right now. You got to understand, Jehovah, the Almighty, Satan, angels, demons, they're all energy beings. They're pure energy. They can manifest. They don't have to go to sleep. They don't have to eat. They don't have to drink water. They don't get sick. They don't die, but they can be destroyed. They're superior to us mortal human beings as of now. And so you got to understand that when the Bible was being told and written, the devil was right there listening. The devil knows the Bible too, okay? And so on that note, it's like, for example, when Jesus was approached by Satan in the desert with the whole fasting thing, and Satan said, bow down and worship me and I'll give you this and I'll give you that. Satan made 7 nations appear. But you got to look at that story more closely. He made 7 nations appear with the people inside them. That's like 7 different countries. All the people in these countries, he just made appear with the flick of the wrist. In the kitchen, we gonna whip it like a stir fry. So basically, he manifested a lot of people in kingdoms and stuff, which be super difficult for us, but easy for an energy being to manifest into something. So I want to correct you on just my belief. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong, but I truly believe I'm onto something. When you hear these voices and you go to these churches, which I believe God's not in a lot of these churches. When you hear these voices and, you know, you think it's God telling you this and this and that, I can tell you this first of all. A lot of times the Almighty is not talking. He'll give you an image in your head, or he'll give you a series of images and messages and something on your level that if your discernment's high enough, you'll hear him through the suggestion. A lot of times you're not getting his voice talking to you. But people say, especially, I heard his voice and it's not. Let me show you something sinister and spooky a bit. There's a very likely chance that when you hear these voices, even if you see a beam of light and light rays and white doves flying around, and you hear these voices and they have this best advice and the angels go, ah, let me tell you something spookier. That may not even be nothing. That may not be God. That may not be an angel. Something way more sinister and playful. And on that note, I'm more so speaking of that could just be a demon fooling you. You can't see them. They're pure energy. It's probably not very hard to turn into a powerful voice with harps and angels going all around. Okay? Be careful. Even Paul and Peter say, check your source of these utterances and this and that, because people all day, due to their ignorance and their non-physical, non-spiritual, completely physical realities and lifestyles, say God said this or this and that. I heard a voice, a light came on, lightning struck, birds started flying in my house. Take a closer look. That may not even be close to God. Could be just a demon fucking with you. He's superior. You can't see what that demon is doing. People think demon, they think, oh no, he's gonna come eat me and this and that. Man, please don't get the fuck away from me with this motherfucking stupid ass, unintelligent, non-Christian, anti-Christian, rudimentary, simplistic, deceiving, apostate, non-biblical knowledge. Go back to the source. Read your Bible, and when you're done reading whatever you read, go back and read it again. Go back and read it again. Go back and read it again. Get a highlighter. Read it. Go back and read it again. Highlight what stands out. Make the message clearer to yourself. You guys understand, you really don't know that much about God. I'm talking about pastors and preachers too. And that may even put Joel Osteen in the category. You got to understand some things. I don't want to brag because I did say empaths, and empaths are closer to God, blah, blah. This has been a very interesting video because it hasn't really been that much about drugs. You know, and, you know, you just have to be careful. I want to say one more thing, because DXM just had this weird, godly, divine effect on me for whatever reason. I'm not even sure. I want to tell you something. If you're going through something and you believe in Jehovah or the Almighty, and you're going through something and you need some help and you decide to pray, I want to, maybe I'm not teaching anything. A lot of people maybe know this, but I want to tell you something if you don't know. And I want to tell everybody something if they don't know. The Almighty, when you say your prayers correctly, He does hear you if you're worthy of it, and it does have an effect. If you want a powerful effect from your prayer or a powerful result, I can't tell you if the result will be fast or not. He operates on His own time over a very extremely higher intellect than us. His mind is perfect. Our minds are imperfect. If you really want that help and want, even if it's just a better emotion, read your Bible before you pray. Do a little study and read some Bible story. I don't care if it's one chapter. It could be the first Psalm, which is a very short verse. And, you know, read it. Try to understand it. Try to comprehend it. And when you get it, then say your prayer. You're going to maximize your vibration. No, let me take that back. Even though the Bible, when you talk about frequencies and vibrations, the Bible does boost it probably better than anything. Also, drinking water does also. If you want results or answers in your life or difficulty or help with your difficulty, read your Bible, try to take it in, try to read a chapter, try to understand it, try to even apply it. He rewards that. He blesses efforts. And so with that being said, you know, then pray to Him. You'd be shocked at what's going to happen. I can't tell you when or how to happen, but something good is coming your way. Trust me. Something good is coming your way. You're activating the Almighty or angels. I can't see them like that either. I have an ability to see spirits, but only from time to time do I tap into it, because it can be very tricky and deceiving also. So, you know, if you're going through trouble, if you're going through trials, you're going through grief, you're going through the worst, homelessness, whatever, keep praying, keep reading the Bible. Keep praying, keep reading the Bible. Amidst all your trials, amidst all your troubles, amidst all your stress, amidst all your divorces, your anxiety, your death, keep reading the Bible, keep on praying, and you will get out of your situation. I'm a living testimony. One day, when I get it all figured out and do everything, I'm going to get in here and make a video, and I'm going to tell my story. Because there's tons and tons upon tons of tragedy in my story. It's the reason I'm popping these pills. Honestly, I don't know what happened. This video was not supposed to turn out like that, but so be it, it did. So all I'm going to say is that may you be blessed. May you be safe. safe passage. Eat your vegetables, eat your food, say your prayer, show gratitude, make a gratitude list, drink plenty of water. Have a good night and an even better morning. See you later.